Please type along. The librarian has placed the book. This book is entitled Power, Politics, and Pulpits. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt. You have nothing else to say at the moment. You have to consume a book. A rather plump and stern-looking woman is seated behind the desk. Every so often, she glances away and appears to lose her train of thought. The monotony of being a librarian must be getting to her. Not a good idea. Doing so could result in any number of consequences, all of them bad. You have nothing else to say at the moment. There is no reason to show the librarian your card again. You're already a member. There's a good chance you won't find anything of value in that direction.
Do you have the nightingale?
Well, no.
Once you have the nightingale, bring it to me, and I will trade you for the lamp.
Angelina is not interested in that. Angelina. You rap on the treehouse door and wait a moment, but get no response. You have come upon a quick... You are traveling, trying to. You don't want to shoot yourself with deadly poison. An old stump juts out of the ground. There is nothing special about it. There's no need to use. There's no need to use. As you enter the light. When it comes to might versus magic, all bets are on the latter. If you could get close enough to stab her, you'd have only garnered her most unwanted attention. That would only serve to anger her. That would have no effect on the birdcage. Save it for when you really need it. You can't use that there. You need to get closer. You hear Agatha begin.
The fluid of blood.
You need to
get bone and flesh.
You silently drop the cloth over the cage.
'Twill make my
The chain is
complexion
firmly attached to the
young
cave
and
wall.
fresh.
As it is made of steel, there's no way you could break it with your bare hands. That would undoubtedly create a loud noise and attract the unwanted attention of Agatha. That would undoubtedly
Inducing time to
Upon
reverse
attempting to
its
lift the
sail.
birdcage, you notice that it is attached to a thick chain and bound by a small lock. Obviously, you can't take the cage while it's still chained to the wall. Being as quiet as a mouse, you slide your hand inside the cloak to discover a deep pocket. Amongst sticky and disgusting spell ingredients, you find a tiny silver key and You need to get closer.
All I need is a sweet nightingale.
You slide the silver key into the lock. It fits. You turn it silently, and the chain falls to the ground. Without making a sound, you take the nightingale into your possession. Uh-oh, Hagatha has seen you.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a lot of trouble by coming here.
You wandered into the witch's lair, and where... As you enter, the light from outside barely penetrates the... It is a crystal ball. Unfortunately, you are not versed in the skills for operating one of these. Being as quiet as a mouse, you slide your hand inside the cloak to discover a deep pocket. This odd circular device intrigues you. It depicts several different symbols around its outer rim: the sun, a mountain range, a drop of water, and a cloud. You need to get closer. You silently drop the cloth over the cage. You slide the silver key into the lock. It fits. You turn it silently, and the chain falls to the ground. Without making a sound, you take the nightingale into your possession. Uh-oh, Hagatha.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a lot of trouble by coming here.
You wandered into the witch's lair, and where you stood, you hear Agatha begin a chant of some kind. You cannot remove the birth gem while the blue light is streaming from it. If you want to dislodge it, you'll have to use force. You strike the skull with all your strength, and it shatters easily. The birth gem clatters to the ground, along with a multitude of bone fragments. You reacquire the birth gem. You have no reason to shatter the skull. You remove the cloth from the cage. You give it a quick wipe. 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 You wipe your sword with the cloth. You give it a... You give it... You... Those items do... You give it... You give it... Looking at the bottom of the cage, you find that a letter has become stuck to it. You peel it off. You read the letter. The letter puzzles you, but you put it away and continue your quest. The paper is slightly crumpled and dirty, having somehow become stuck to the bottom of a bird cage. You read the letter. The letter. As you look at the bird, it begins to sing merrily. You poke the bird. It responds by pecking your finger. You poke the bird. Wearing the cage on your head might not have the impact on fashion that you envisage. You offer the nightingale to Angelina. The sheer elation on her face almost makes the whole risk worth the while. She snatches it from you and proceeds to fuss over the bird. You wait for a moment, but it seems she no longer notices you.
If you don't mind, about the lamp you promised me in trade for the nightingale?
The shopkeeper looks up at you vaguely. She gradually remembers that there is another being in her world.
Yes? Oh, yes, take it. You'll have no beginning of use with it.
Don't you mean no end of use?
Of course. Whatever you say, dear.
You hear Angelina muttering cheerfully to herself as she exits.
Finally, I have the final ingredient for that marvelous youth potion. I'm going to beat you to the punch, my dear Agatha. Serves you right for hoarding this sweet, juicy thing to yourself.
You feel a nauseous tinge in your stomach. Well, at least the lamp is now yours. You take the old lamp. The door leads. You heard Angelina lock the door after she went through it. You placing your grubby hand upon placing There's no need to use the cloth on the lamp. You give it a quick wipe. The oil lamp is fashioned of brass and has been tarnished. There's a spout at one end and a round handle at the other. The lamp is empty inside. You rub the lamp and wait expectantly, but nothing happens. You're about to give it another try when a small puff of smoke appears at the end of the spout. It clears, revealing a note. As you remove it, the lamp disappears. You read the scroll. Upon closer examination, you discover that the statue hides a small latch. You flip the latch and watch in amazement as a trap door opens up from the floor. If you wish to close the trap door, you should flip the latch. You close the trap door behind you. There is a soft pile of down and dust. A tangled mass of jewelry and chains have been dumped into boxes and pushed up against the back wall. You see a letter on the desk. You read the letter sitting on the desk. You have neither the time nor the patience. You'd better not move anything in this room. Someone might hear you. You see a colorful rolled-up carpet. As you pick up the carpet, you notice a small label which reads, "Property of Al Den." There might be a faded letter or two in there, but you cannot be sure. Above you, from the back room, you discern Angelina's voice.
I did it! I did it! The youth potion is finally finished. All I need to do now is drink it.
Angelina, show yourself, you scurvy wench.
Agatha? My dear! What an unexpected surprise!
Don't you play the fool with me. I know you stole it.
Stole? Really, I do not know.
Silence. For your lies and deceit, there can be only one consequence.
No, please, I can explain.
I said silence. Oh, and one more thing. Your invitation to join us is revoked. What is this? Ah, the youth potion at last. Oh no! Drat! Now what was that spell for removing floorboards? Curses! I shall have to go back and look it up.
Several barrels are stored in this underground room. This is a secret room located directly beneath the antique shop. Obviously, the proprietor uses this room as a storage area for her worthless wares, although there may be something of value down here. You'd better not move. The room has a musty smell and feels a bit moist. The room. Carrying around junk is a pastime for a swindling merchant or a collector, and you are neither. You much prefer the lightness of your own sword. Besides, this one is only an antique, and thus is probably not suitable for combat. There is a soft pile of down and dust. You fish around in the pile of down and successfully retrieve the youth potion. Curious as to whether the youth potion lives up to its name, you drink every last drop of the blue liquid. Planning to start your life over? Unfortunately, your fair maiden won't be around by the time you become interested in women again. You think that this vial contains the potion of youth. The vial has a cork at one end to keep the contents from spilling. You decide not to remove it at this time. The magic carpet is a beautifully woven Persian rug with a colorful fringe on the ends. The carpet is woven of the finest fabric. You cannot use the carpet while indoors. Cautiously, you open the trapdoor ever so slightly and peer into the room above. Agatha is nowhere to be seen. You make your exit from the basement. You have no desire to go back there. You flick the latch. The trapdoor closes and conceals itself into the floorboards once more. The door is not voice-activated. The door is not voice-activated. Who will buy these wonderful items? You have no... This would not be the best place to use the magic carpet. You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet begins to rise skyward. As you ascend higher, you realize that the carpet is beyond your control. It glides through the air on a seemingly predetermined course. The plateau is a natural lofty outcropping from this mountain. The view is incredible from up here. Below lies the land of Kolyma, stretched out before you. You can make out the coastline, most of the forest, and a dismal, swampy area to the north. You breathe in deeply and notice that the air is thinner up here. A snake blocks your path to the east. It appears to be about 10 feet long and is coiled up, ready to strike. The snake only communicates in hisses. You have just discovered the gravity of your situation. The snake does not care about your possessions. You could simply kill the snake, but something about its presence up here is a little strange. The snake does You dangle the shimmering opal in front of the snake. It soon falls hypnotized in typical snake fashion. Don't be silly. The snake could snap out of its trance any moment. It's too dark. You can't see down there. You reach into the cavity and feel around. What is this? You've discovered a button hidden inside the rock. You press it and wait to see what happens next. In an instant, a man stands beside you. He appears to be somewhat of an adventurer, much like yourself.
Greetings. I am King Graham of Daventry.
The newcomer nods in greeting. Without a word, he respectfully appraises you. You notice about him the manner of one who has only recently learnt the meaning of heroism.
From where do you hail, good sir?
The man opens his mouth to answer, but then pauses to consider that question. Evidently deciding that irrelevant exposition would serve neither party, he casually gestures to the hole in the rock behind you.
Might I inquire something of your identity?
After a brief search of his own person, the man pulls out a scroll card and hands it to you. You unroll it, and it reads, "Having fulfilled the requirements in accordance with the statutes of the famous Adventurers Correspondence School, the bearer is a qualified would-be hero." The man also shows you a medallion. Upon it are the words, "Hero of Spielberg." You reverently return the scroll to the man.
You don't say much, do you?
With a sigh of resignation, the man shakes his head silently.
Surely you might speak to me of your adventures.
The man becomes quite enthused about the prospect of relating his most recent adventure to you. Just as he is about to speak, however, you notice something on the ground that the man must have dropped. You retrieve the paper. It appears to be a scroll. Upon it is some writing. Disclaimer: you have just witnessed a rather shameless plug for the remake of Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire by the entities of AGD Interactive. Available now. As you read the writing, the words are ingrained in your mind. The scroll disappears. You have just discovered the... It seems to be a log. There's nothing under the log. The cave is adorned with the most beautiful coverings you've ever seen. The material sparkles in the light from outside the cave. There's almost something unreal about this brilliant decor. Some incredibly valuable furniture has been placed here. You wonder how it is protected against the elements, as there are no obvious means of sealing the cave. This long staff looks magical in nature. An ancient book lies open on the workbench. Though its pages are torn and faded, the cover is still a bright blood red. A number of candles and dimly lit hanging lanterns adorn this small cave. They do not aid your vision much. Fortunately, enough sunlight enters from outside the cave entrance, providing adequate illumination for you to see by. You approach the workbench for a closer look. The ancient book bears the title, Ye Old Book of Enchantments, Causes and Cures. It looks very old and has been propped up on a pedestal. You flip through the book entitled, Ye Old Book of Enchantments, Causes and Cures. The first half contains a list of enchantments. These do not interest you, as you have no desire to inflict inconvenience upon others. However, the Cures section does capture your curiosity. While browsing, you spy a promising paragraph. Enchanter's staffs are very powerful objects. You dare not touch this one, for fear of the consequences you may bring upon yourself. This is the sword of the first king of Daventry. It dates back almost one. You never did pay much attention during magic classes at Daventry High School. As a result, nothing in these books will help you. You have better things to do than to try out the furniture. You cannot remove the engraving. It has been chiseled into the rock. You notice that some writing has been engraved into the wall. You read the inscription. The engraving on the wall reads, "In row of stones that number 6, half and a pair from left do pick. Quell then my spell, avoid the tricks." There's not enough room to use the carpet here. Try walking in front of the rocks. You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet rises into the air again. The carpet begins to descend. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. There is an enormous rock mound nearby. Vines and creepers run down it and twist through the cracks and crevices. Beneath the mound are some smaller stones. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. Six spherical stones lie at the base of the huge rock mound. There's no need to use that there. There's no need to use. You try to lift the stone, but it will not budge. You try to lift. You try. You have run into an evil enchanter. Get out of here fast before he turns you into something. You try. You try. You try. You try. Repressing the urge to. There's no need. You have run. You have run in. You try to lift. You try. You have. You try. You try. You try. You. You try to lift. You try to. The tree is unclimbable. You have run. You try to. You. 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 You try to. You try. You try to lift. You try to lift. You. 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 You try. You. There's no. There's. There's no. The paper is slightly crumpled. There's no need to use that there. There's not enough room to use the carpet here. There's not. This odd circular. There's no need. There's no. There's. There. 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 You have run into an evil enchanter. Get out of here fast before he turns you into something. What an enchanting encounter. Enjoy the rest of your life as his pet. The button now seems to be jammed. There's nothing more that you can do with it. You notice that you read the The engraving on the wall reads, "In row of stones that number 6, half and a pair from left do pick. Quell then my spell, avoid the tricks." An ancient book lies open on the workbench. You flip through the book entitled, "The first half contains a list of enchantments." You flip the first half. A neatly displayed scroll hangs on the wall. However, its archaic symbols and wording will forever remain a mystery to you. The scroll is nailed to the wall. There is nothing for you to do there. You approach the workbench for a closer look. Unfortunately, you cannot cast fire from your fingertips. It would be best not to remove the beaker from its stand. Someone might notice if you moved them. You flip through the first half contain. You have better Enchanter's staff. You never did pay much attention during A collection of books are stacked side by side on a nearby shelf. Most of the titles are written in a mysterious language that you don't understand, so you suspect that they are about magic. Some incredibly valuable The cave is adorned with the most beautiful coverings you've ever seen. The material sparkles in the light from outside the cave. There's almost something unreal about this brilliant decor. You run your hand over the fabrics, feeling the remarkable texture between your fingers. You have better things. You cannot remove the You can't use that. You can't. The snake lashes out, striking with precision. Its lethal venom kills you instantly. your history. The path winds up from the south.